I think what the left is doing is attacking America. They're saying that America is systemically oppressive and men are systemically responsible.
That was conservative Republican Senator Josh Hawley, the faux populist who pretended to care about the economic anxieties of Americans, when in reality, he's just another repackaged conservative who's worried about porn and video games. That was the message that you would hear from his interview with Axios. In fact, it was pretty embarrassing, to be quite honest with you, and give you a little look into what he thinks about men today, in particular men who might vote for him. Let's listen.
As conservatives, we've got to call men back to responsibility. We've got to say that spending your time not working, and we have more and more men who are not working, spending your time on video games, spending your time watching porn online while doing nothing is not good for you, your family, or this country.
So a viewer's watching this and they're thinking, really? What the liberals are doing are gonna push me to watch Pornhub more or play Donkey Kong more? Do you mean that literally?
Well, what I mean literally is that I think the liberal attack, the left-wing attack on manhood says to men, you're part of the problem. It says that your masculinity is inherently problematic. It's inherently oppressive.
Now, look, I would venture to say that someone who's genuine in wanting to respond to the economic anxieties of Americans would not manufacture the next culture war. But of course, that's exactly what Josh Hawley is doing here. And I also just want to note that, he talks about men who need to get back to work, right? This was a message that was also uttered by Elaine Chao, former transportation secretary under the Trump administration. And what they're really talking about is the labor shortage. We're seeing it in various sectors of the economy. It's leading to supply chain shortages. They just want you guys to go back to the mines. And it made me think about the John Deere workers who are currently on strike. And about 40% of those strikers identify as Republican voters. And so when it comes to these economic issues, when it comes to accumulating power as workers in the workplace, that is not a partisan issue. You got Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, progressives. They see how broken our economic system is. They want change. But what you'll get from politicians like Josh Hawley, who pretends to be a populist, is more and more of this manufactured nonsense culture war. I would love to know what Josh Hawley does during his free time. Because while he's passing judgment on men who like to let loose and enjoy themselves by playing video games, for instance, I would venture to say that he probably engages in activities that we would find pretty unsavory as well, including fundraising among corporate donors who allow for politicians like Hawley to rig the economic system against us. Cenk.
Okay, so let's analyze the critique of men from the two different camps, okay? So now, does discriminating against men overall make any sense? Of course not. I'm a man, I don't want to be discriminated against. Is there legitimate critique of men that you could make? Of course there is, right? So for example, the great majority of crimes are committed by young men, that's a fact. So now let's look at the two sides. One side says historically men have been in charge and have used that. And by the way, logically so, if you have power, you want to keep power. You don't want to share that power. And they didn't want to share it with women. So they would say, for example, you're not allowed to work. You have to stay at home and just serve me. Your whole point of existence is to serve me. And you have no freedom, you have no independence. These are from the freedom guys, right? But not for women. Historically, that's what happened. Now we're halfway past that, but there's still a lot of that hanging around. And so is that a legitimate critique? Of course. Have men aggregated power in this country historically? Well, I mean, women weren't even allowed to vote until 100 years ago. All 46 presidents have been men. We can go on and on. These are based in fact, right? And you want to get past that. And very slowly we're getting past that. Now, the right-wing critique as presented by Josh Hawley there of men is, you guys watch too much porn and you play too many video games, and my corporate bosses are telling me you guys are bums. I think men are lazy bums who like to play video games and do what to porn. So how's that for a critique of men?
No, it's amazing. It's amazing because I would love to see the data, right? Like, what is he referring to specifically? Like, what data set is he pointing to reference that men are just spending all day spanking the salami to Pornhub? Like, I want to know. And the thing is, he just made it up. He just made it up. And by the way, you want to look at, porn consumption in the country and where it's more prevalent. It tends to be in the Bible Belt. And I'm not passing judgment here. Whatever you do on your free time is your own business. But what he's doing in this interview is passing judgment on men in general, including his own voters, his own supporters, conservative voters, and painting them, defaming them as lazy bums. And it's just fascinating to see how these politicians really view men in society. In an effort to try to defend them, he's really insulting them, and it's pretty gross.
Yeah, so look, the porn and video games debate, I'm very happy to have any day. But the part that should be offensive to men is Hawley and the other right wingers saying, that's why you guys aren't working. You're bums. You're bums. You're not doing anything productive in society. All you're doing is masturbating all day. It's a really sick way of looking at men. And so don't let that slide by. Now, but before I reach a conclusion, I'd like to say that on the issue of porn, look, if Hawley and Shapiro want to take the position of, we are against all men who watch porn online, and we take the position of, we'll take all the voters who actually do watch porn online, we would win elections among men, 99-1? So have at it, Hoss, okay?
Yeah.
I think it's the
seriously.
worst political strategy of all time.
No, I love it. I love it. Keep going, Hawley. Keep going. In fact, if you thought that was bad, it's about to get worse and even more embarrassing for Hawley. Let's watch.
Is that based on data or based on a hunch?
Well, it's policy over many years. I mean, if you look at the policy of deindustrialization, those are policy choices Mike pursued over many years.
Wait, how does that connect to porn?
Oh, well, you've got men, 16 million men, Mike, who are idle, who don't have anything to do. Now, partly that's their own responsibility, but also partly it's because jobs have dried up in many cities across America and rural areas too. I think you put together lack of jobs, you put together fatherlessness, you put together the social messages that we teach our kids in school. I think we've got to confront that and its effects.
I love it, because at one moment during this interview, Hawley's like, oh wait, hold on. I forgot I was engaging in that faux populist grift. I'm supposed to talk about globalization, deindustrialization, but look, bro, you're a US senator, okay? You're a US senator. And politicians like Josh Hawley have been in favor of protecting multinational corporations, protecting companies that have shipped jobs abroad to exploit cheap labor in places like China, India, Vietnam, Bangladesh. He loves it. He can't get enough of it. He loves it. So I just love how in the end, he doesn't overtly take blame, but if you listen to what he's saying, it's the policies that people like him have championed throughout the years that have led to the economic situation and frustration that Americans are experiencing today. Which is why, guys, don't take the bait for the manufactured culture wars. Don't take it. They love it. That's all the right wing has. They don't have solutions. They don't have policy proposals that would better your life. All they have is Mr. Potato Head. All they have is Dr. Seuss. All they have is tut tut porn. We don't like it. Tut tut, you're spanking the salami too often. Garbage, just garbage nonsense. Don't take the bait. Don't take it. Throw it away.
Yeah, so credit where credit is due. I thought Mike Allen did a good job there. Sometimes we critique Axios when they do a bad job, but in that case, he did a great job of following up. Which policy of Democrats has led to men masturbating more online? Come on, really? They make these points with a straight face. So it was a great follow-up question, and I liked the Donkey Kong reference in a video game. I would have picked something a little bit more recent, but hey, he's old school. Now, when it comes to Hawley,
well, Donkey Kong is actually perfect, especially if you're trying to tie porn and video games. But nonetheless, keep going.
Yes, indeed. And donkey is a symbol for Democrats. I don't know if there's something there. Anyways, so when it comes to Hawley, look. There is a theme they're working on here, and you will see this from other politicians and other right-wing media hosts like Joe Rogan and others, okay?
It's all about Republicans are more masculine, man. And you know what?
Let's put up the picture of Josh Hawley just to show you how masculine they are as Cenk is making his point. So that's Josh Hawley kissing his wife like a real man would. Cenk, continue.
Yeah, I kiss my wife with a closed mouth, and she does the same for me, because real men don't touch lips, okay? And I definitely am not going to Pornhub after this, Josh Hawley says, and I'll be watching straight porn. Anyway, so, all right, but all the fall tough guys of the right wing, they're like, oh man, if you're manly, you don't need a vaccine. Yeah, man, you don't need vaccines for men. We're men. And I think that the reason they're doing the weirdo anti-porn thing, even though every one of their followers watches porn online, is because they probably feel deep shame about that. And they know that their own followers feel shame about it, because that's what they taught them. Like, I mean, you want to talk about where it comes from? They went to church, they went to all the political things that the Republicans did. Oh, if you actually, do things that are free with your body, right? Like if you actually exercise freedom, you're a terrible person. You should be filled with shame and disgust and guilt. And that works. And then people are like, oh yeah, the liberals made me do it. I didn't want to go on Pornhub, but the liberals made me do it. And that's why, what did Hawley say there? Then they become dried up.
Yeah, look, anyone who's feeling guilty about masturbation, just don't. Don't let your church make you feel bad about it. Don't let the Proud Boys make you feel bad about it. You gotta release the poison, okay? We've seen what happens to men when they're not getting any love from the ladies, or when they're not showing themselves some self-love. So you're actually doing your duty, your service to America. It's the most patriotic thing you can do. Do it, let it go, don't feel bad about it, let's move on.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
And I can't imagine anything worse than a bunch of pent up right wingers who've got energy to release, going around like crazed nuts. So don't buy into the FAP smear, okay?
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.